So, you know, back in 1979, my first guest was 13 years old. He stood 5'8". He weighed 210 pounds. Somebody came along and put handcuffs on him and took him away. Now, most people today think that those same hands are going to belong to the next heavyweight champ of the world. And let's take a look at those hands today in action.
Going to be a really fascinating contest to see how Richardson attempts to use that advantage in height and reach.
Amato, of course, right hand.
A fellow for whom everybody predicts a great future. If they can find some height.
Sweet overhand right, then taking him out with a vicious left hand.
A low right from Young. In trouble in both the first and 10th rounds, and now he's in trouble here.
19 years of age. Long is 27.
Oh, wow. Tyson comes out slugging.
He comes out smoking like Marvis's father, Joe. Marvis must move or we're going to be out of here very, very quickly. Uppercut, and Marvis is hurt.
Razor is down. Joe Cortez moves in to have a look. And he's going to stop the fight. It did not last 20 seconds.
Please welcome Mike Tyson. We gotta explain one thing to you right now. See, they were clips from, I don't want you to think that's one guy getting hit like that. Now, I had mentioned when I introduced you that you had once been taken away in handcuffs. So maybe we better explain that. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't want you to get offended. You know what I mean, Mike? Yeah, hey, you know what I'm saying, Mike? You know what I'm saying, right, Mike? Hey! So maybe we should tell the people what I meant when I said you were taken away in cuffs when you're 13.
No, when I was younger, I was born in Brooklyn in the Brownsville section, which I loved dearly. And it was like a wild atmosphere at that point. And then, you know, the kids got wild, and then I got in trouble, and I got taken away. And then the staff there took me to Customata after my time was served, and he didn't want me to go back to Brooklyn because he thought something bad would happen, which I thought would have also. And so we went to upstate New York, and from then on, it was like love at first fight.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to, you know distance, right? You know how to judge distance. When you do that, you know that I'm here, right? I mean, no, I just want to get it straight. You know what I'm talking?
At particular times, yes.
Yeah.
I lose the distance.
You lose the distance sometimes?
The radar function.
If I sit where Billy is, that's enough distance, right? Now, when you were a kid, though, when you were a real little kid, I heard that you were kind of like a gentle. You weren't a tough kid. You were an easygoing kid, and they kind of picked on you, right?
All the time.
They picked on you.
Would you believe that?
No. You know what's even more important? I want to know this. See, if I ended up looking like you and could hit like that, I'd go back to South Philadelphia and get those Lamorgias and pin them. You know what I mean? Did you ever have that temptation, like, to get back there and get those guys?
I thought about that recently.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'll go with you know what I mean? Now, when you have it, everyone's saying, and I'm a big boxing fan, that's my sport, and everyone's saying you're going to be the next heavyweight champ. You think you're going to make it?
Well, the people in general, it's good if everyone says that, But yeah, most definitely I do. They really don't know, but I know.
Let's say that means you can go to 15 rounds for that championship. Those last 5 rounds are the champions' rounds, right?
Yeah.
You can do that. You're not just like a couple rounds and that's it. You can go the whole distance.
Most definitely. I went 10 rounds 3 times.
Yeah. So you can go the distance. All right, now let's say you make it, and you're the champ. All right? Now, are you gonna know when to quit? That's a very important thing, man.
David, I'm only 20 years old, and quitting is a long way.
Yeah, I'm not... I'm not trying to say you should quit before you get it. You know, a lot of guys stay in it too long. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to stay in too long. You want to walk out of there with your mind and your money. Both things, right?
Yes, it's true.
So you're going to know that. I mean, huh?
10 years from now, ask me that question. You think I'll be on your show 10 years from now?
If I got a show, you'll be on it.
Okay.
The chances of me having a show in 10 years are not as good as you still being a champ, the way you're hitting. I mean, I'm punching, but I don't know if I could punch that hard. Now, you're...
Hey, no,
yeah.
What's the deal with the ratings here, though? Like,
Ratings are good, yeah. Ratings are good. Ratings are good, but if you want to go out and kick some butt to get bigger ratings, I'll let you go. You know what I mean? I mean, we can go on tour, and you can go in and talk to the station managers and say, put on a better time, you know? I'll back you up. Now, I know a little bit. Now, you're a historian about boxing. You study boxing. You watch films, right?
I know a little, yeah.
You know who Daniel Mendoza was?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, Daniel Mendoza. God, what do you know about Daniel Mendoza?
Daniel, wait a minute, what are you doing? Daniel Mendoza was a Sephardic Jew who lived in England, and in 1790, he was the first guy. Before that, they used to bang each other.
You know about him?
Yeah, he was a Jewish. He had a Jewish. Yeah, we know every Jew ever lived. You know what I mean? We like it's Jewish history. You know what I mean? We know it. Now he was the first guy to box. Before that, they just came out and hit each other. He was the first guy to get the art of boxing, weaving, and ducking, right?
Well, not really. Daniel Mendoza, he's more or less started the boxing like on a stage, and he went all around the countries and sites boxing on the stage.
Well, he's Jewish. He's going to make money. What do you think he's going to get his head beat in? You know what I'm saying? He made money, made a show business. He had girls coming out way before Don King thought of it. Man, it's a show biz. Now, one of the big fights you like to watch, one of the guys you like to watch is going to be our guest tonight, and that's the man who really could hit like he could hit, right? Jake LaMotta. You've seen Jake LaMotta and Robinson. They fought 6 times.
a lot of his films.
It's not. We're going to bring him out here, and we're all going to sit around and talk some boxing right after we take care of this message. That's all right with you, right? We're here with Mike Tyson. Now, my next guest was one of the most colorful and deadly men ever to step in a boxing ring. He hit like a truck, and he could take being hit by a truck. He's known as a raging bull. Please welcome the former middleweight champion of the world, Jake LaMotta. Well, Jake, great seeing you.
Guaranteed, without a doubt, next heavyweight champion of the world.
Yeah. What do you...
And if he doesn't do the right thing, I give him a beat.
What do you think of his style? What do you think of him in the ring?
Well, the way I understand, Cuss had him fight similar to my style. See, I always fought big guys. He's going to keep on fighting big guys all his life. And he kept him going inside. Now, you figure the advantage is for a big guy, but it's wrong. A short guy could take the advantage from a big guy by making himself shorter and keep pressing the guy. You understand what I'm trying to say? You understand that?
Absolutely.
Right, you understand. now, the difference with him is he's got that style that Cuss taught his fighters to protect himself, look to protect himself. And that's a great style. Right. Now, I was explaining to him before, this style just is the same as mine in a way because I did it this way. I caught the punches coming up this way. But his style is just as good because they're sly off his hands. And he's protected a lot better.
Well, we should tell him.
You keep it up, pal. You keep it up, you're going to be a great fighter. You're going to be like Joe Louis, Marciano, maybe even better. You're a bigger and stronger Marciano. There's no question about it.
Yeah, there's a good question. I don't think anybody could take the punches and survive the way you used to do in the ring. I mean, you took more punches and deadly punches and stayed on your feet like Robinson never.
Look, it looked like I did, but I was fast enough to ride with my punches. There's a knack to it. He knows what I'm talking about. When you catch a hard ball, you move with the ball, and it takes the power away.
Right.
I had the reflexes to really move with my punches. And I didn't get hit as much as, otherwise I wouldn't be speaking coherently to you, right?
That's true. Now, what about...
God gets me with a hard head. When I first started fighting, my brain was crooked.
Yeah.
And after all the punches I got, straighten it right out.
Now, what about... Have you ever been hurt in the ring, Mike? Have you ever been hurt?
Never hurt. In the gym, and perhaps when I was younger fighting, I've gotten hurt during the learning stages.
You know why I'm asking you? Because I was at the Sugar Ray and Tommy Hearns fight, in Vegas. And when Tommy Hearns got hurt, when Tommy Hearns, right, you were there. When Tommy Hearns got hurt, he really he's a great fighter. He'd never been hurt. He didn't know what happened to him, I don't think.
He was hurt with Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yeah, right. He didn't know what happened, right? So do you think you can take, if you ever get hurt, I don't know how a guy gets hurt, but if you ever...
These things, the objective totally is, boxing is to hit and not get hit. And at some time in the stage, you get hit with punches, and the best is to take them as best as possible. But the best objective, like I say, is not to get hit. And that's what I do. I don't get hit.
For a big, powerful, strong guy, you got such a sensitive, sweet voice. It doesn't fit your personality. Now, we didn't come here to talk about him.
Right, we came to talk about you,
Jake. Me.
Yeah.
Talk about my book.
Yeah, Raging Bull 2, right?
Raging Bull 2.
You got a book, Raging Bull 2. Now, that's going to be made...
You got the cover here?
Yeah, all right, this is Raging Bull 2. Continuing the story of Jake LaMotta. Now, you got a book, and it'll probably be made into a movie, because your life is so interesting. You're such an interesting guy.
The first book was made into a movie.
Right, I know.
Raging Bull. Robert De Niro, superstar Robert De Niro won the Oscar for Best Actor.
Right. Now, he also could fight.
He could. I guarantee you, when I got finished with him, he could have fought professional. No question about it. You met him, and you saw him fight in the movie.
Yeah.
Does he know how to handle himself?
He's throwing some heavy blows.
Throw some pretty good blows.
Now,
I spent 1 year with him. 1 year with him. Before we shot one for the film, 1 solid year we boxed over 1,000 rounds. I'm not exaggerating.
Did you drop him?
This guy was very dedicated.
Tell the truth, you can talk. De Niro,
I banged him pretty good.
Yeah.
He wanted me to. He wanted me to bang him pretty. He wanted me to bang him.
Did he take it well?
Yeah, he took a pretty good punch, and he also banged me pretty.
Did you give him a beating?
Don't be a wise guy.
Now let's say, Mike, you're the champ, and you have the years as a champ, and now like Raging Bull 1, Raging Bull 2, they're going to write a book about you, a couple books. All right, what would you call the book if they did a review?
See, these questions are so immature. I'm not. The first thing in my mind is a book. Everything in my mind is
you tell me one more time I'm immature, I'm going to knock your head in that rift, all right? You're right. You're on my side, right?
Smoking crazy cigarettes too. Oh my God!
You think we could both take it? No chance, right?
I'm not the type. I wasn't the type to play myself in a movie. So they were thinking of using Sammy Davis Jr. instead.
For you?
Yeah, but he could do it. He was too Jewish.
They could use for Mike. They could use Marvin Hamlish to play Mike. Only kidding, Mike. You know what I mean? Only a joke. Now, he becomes a champ, right? Let's say he becomes a champ, like you were the champ. What advice would you give him? He's the champ now.
Well, I gave him advice a few months ago. I boxed an exhibition with Rocky Graziano for retarded kids, and fell for him. And he came back in the dressing room, and he still remembers. I said, the only best advice I can give you is keep yourself busy and make believe you're in jail for a couple of years. Make believe you're in jail for a couple of years.
Oh, in other words, just abstain from all of life and dedicate yourself.
Stay away from all the garbage out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of garbage out there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, why do women have to be garbage, though?
I know, but it's, unfortunately, guys like you and I, we attract garbage. But every once in a while, something beautiful comes into our lives, and we have to see. Now, it took me a long time to finally find. I've been married 6 times. I finally found the right girl. And you know something? I got it right this time. Her name is Teresa. She's sitting out there somewhere. I don't know where she's sitting. So Teresa and I are very compatible. Every night when we go to bed, we both get headaches at the same time.
Funny, too. You know what I mean? You could take my place. I could never take his.
I'm going to Canada tomorrow. I'm doing a club date up in Toronto. I'm getting up early in the morning. I do stand-up comedy, you know that.
Yeah.
You also, I don't know if you realize this, but I also lived in South Philly.
I know you lived in Philadelphia, bro. They still talk about it. Yeah, yeah.
I learned how to fight there in South Philly.
Yeah, I learned how to run. Same place.
Same place. I lived there for about 4 or 5 years.
It's like living in a place for 20 years. It's a great neighborhood.
Yeah.
A lot of tough guys down there.
I even did a club date at, what's the name?
Palumbo's.
Palumbo.
They're still talking about it, Jake. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to Nightlife. You know, what we have here, you have here a former champ and you have a future champ, but what you really have, you have two terrific guys. And that's the main thing. Thank you very much. See you. Good night.